Let's go to my screen. Let's go real quickly through my charts, right? So simple setup. This is the S&P 500. I'll answer the questions at the end, last 5-10 minutes, okay? I want to go through this quickly. This is the S&P 500, right? What did I say? Trend is your friend, correct? Is there an established uptrend? Absolutely, right? And to the upper right-hand corner where my cursor is at, that was the old high where this red line is drawn at, right? Remember, we talked about technical analysis. We talked about support lines. Well, guess what? S&P 500 went from 525 to about 495, which is about 6% correction, which happens on every bull market. 5 to 6 to 7% corrections are absolutely common. It came down to a point that it came to support. I had these lines drawn already, and if it had broken that, this would have been the next line of support. You have to draw these, so then you have a game plan set up. And the third line of support, if it kept breaking, would have been this line, right? I already had it. Well, there you go. This was the first line of support that shows the strength of the market. If the market is weak, you will usually go to the second or third line of support. On this one, it just stopped, dead stop on the first line of support. I had drawn this line when the market rolled over. This was the old high, all-time high resistance, right? Well, what it on Wednesday, which is this bar right here, well, inflation report came out, and boom, sure we are. We're to the races. New all-time high. You don't question the market. Yes, my bias is negative, but you have to go with the trend. The trend is your friend, and the trend is good. This is the triple Qs, same story. Uptrend, massive uptrend. It's been going on for a while. This was the old high. We broke right through it. Now there may be a point that it pulls back a little bit to the break where it broke out of, and then continue the uptrend. I just trade what I'm given. I'm not gonna guess. I'm not going to, take a shot at things that are not there. I see what I see. And then on this one, I had drawn these lines already, which you guys have seen in the past. This was the first support, line of support, the old high that had broken through. It came right back down to that and stopped. And if they had broken that, this would have been my second line of support, right? It didn't even come close. And, markets are strong. There's nothing to ifs and buts about it. And this is the 10-year T-note inverse, index. There is something very interesting happening here, right? These are basically interest rates. So if this is going down, the chart is going down, that means interest rates are going up. This is the inverse. It's called TLT. You guys can trade that actually. iShares Barkley 20 plus year treasury index. So there's a clear channel here. You guys see this? Now, I hope you guys got the books and reading about technical analysis. You guys got to start drawing some lines and looking at some charts. Here's a clear channel. One top, reject, one top, reject, top, reject, top, reject, top, reject. We came right to the bottom of it yesterday, where my cursor is at, and then we got rejected. Is it going to go back to the bottom of the channel? I don't know, but if it does, the market is not going to keep making new highs. I can assure you that, right? And the last push that came with the market, as you guys can see this, interest rates went down, and what happens to the market? Market will goes up. There is a massive correlation between interest rates and the markets. Let's go through what I'm watching, what I watched last week, which are the same stocks, by the way. I don't change much and then I know you guys are saying, well, Serge, you find these stocks. How am I going to find these stocks? I'm going to start talking about that. The tools of the trade. Well, I talked about Mr. Genius, second genius. Elon Musk is the first one, and Michael Saylor, the second one. This is MicroStrategy. This is the Bitcoin surrogate. This moves up and down with Bitcoin to the penny. If you guys looked at your trading books, you look at my cursor, there is the left shoulder, there is the head, and there is the right shoulder with the neckline. I had these lines drawn already. That was the first resistance line. What did it do? When the inflation report was announced, Bitcoin took off. It's at 67,000 now. It broke out. Now today, we went to the second resistance line. And so far, we held it, right? I mean, I don't see anything wrong with the stock. This thing is a Bitcoin surrogate. You have to be a little bit careful with this. If you want to trade Bitcoin, you can trade the ETF with much lower cost. The spreads are massive on the stock, so there may be a lot of slippage. But as a Bitcoin surrogate, this is the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin in the universe of 215,000 Bitcoin that they have purchased. by literally mortgaging the company. Well, he's right so far. And this is the third line of resistance. And the all-time high at 2000 and change is the fourth line of resistance. The higher Bitcoin goes, this is going to go higher. Okay, this is the turbocharged version of Bitcoin, basically. The second chart I'm going to talk about is Wayfair. I talked about this last week. Stock is on an uptrend. Look at my cursor on the right. It went up. It broke out on massive volume. It broke above its 50-day moving average, and it broke above its 20-day moving average and its 200-day moving average. These are the three lines that you see here. Once stocks break out, they have a tendency of pulling back on low volume. Look at the lower right-hand cursor that I'm moving. Well, I'm going to be a buyer of the stock right about 65 with a risk at the 50-day moving average close, which is going to be right about 62. So if I'm a buyer at 65, 66, and my bailout is at 62, I'm risking 4 points to make at least 10 to 15. Which I'm seeing the stock going back to 91, which is the resistance line that I already have drawn. There's nothing more, nothing less to say. Another one. This is Marathon Digital. This company is also in the Bitcoin business, but they're one of the top miners of Bitcoin, right? And it's a pretty volatile stock, so you have to be careful. But then I have drawn my line as far as resistance at 2481. But there's something interesting happening to this stock, right? Again, from your technical books, do you guys see this channel, or it's like a flag, right? Do you see this that I'm highlighting? Well, you guys should have these lines drawn. So whichever one this breaks out or down, you have to act. Right now, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's a no man's land. I'm watching it. Another one is Coinbase. Clear chart pattern here. Here are the tops. I'm highlighting it, and here are the bottoms connected. This is looking like a pennant to me. I'm not doing anything. Long-term pennant or an ascending triangle. Well, I just gotta wait. What is happening to the stock is squeezing into the right side of this triangle. Whichever way this breaks out is going to go multiple percentages and points. So these are the things you guys need to start watching now. Here's another one, Root Insurance, super volatile. I was long the stock at 50, sold it into the mid 60s. Earnings came out, went to 80. You guys talk about support and resistance, right? I had this line drawn way before it got there. What happened though? It got there and it got rejected. You think that's a miracle? Yeah, some people say technicals are voodoo stuff. It doesn't work. Well, why did it stop there? Right? It was the old high. It stopped there, got rejected. It goes from 85 to 55. What does it pull back down to, people? Remember, we talked about the 50-day moving average? Guess what? You think it's a miracle? It comes down to the yellow line and it stops right there. It could have blown right through. Now, it's just kind of going sideways and taking its time, right? These are the things that you need to start using as your tools to pull the trigger. Is there a trigger to pull here? No. But most of the time, don't be the jockey, right? Could I have traded this from 85 to 55 and back to 65? Yeah, I don't want to do it. I want a much clearer indicator and a longer term move like this one it did. Look at my cursor. Stock goes from 10 to 85 in a matter of months. This is where I want to be in. I don't want to be in the zigzag here, right? I don't want to get chopped. This is Piedmont Lithium. That I don't own the stock. I'm watching it. It's on my watch list. I have my resistance line drawn and I have my support line drawn. It is going between 11 and 17, 18. If it breaks the resistance line, it's going to get up to the 25, which is the 200-day moving average. And this is the next resistance line. Risk reward is shaping up really well on this. It's basing, right? I'm just going to wait. You guys are going to say, Serge, you're all waiting. I'm like, yeah, that's the patience part, the 3 Ps. Remember, patience, position, and planning. Have your plan ready. This is your plan. This is them. I'm long the stock. I traded it. I told you guys this about weeks ago, actually. Stock broke out, high volume, broke above the 50-day, broke above the 200-day, which is the light blue line, pulled back to it, and then took off. Sky's the limit now. Now, on any pullback, I will buy the stock. On any pullback until proven otherwise. Okay. And the next one is going to be SMCI, super microcomputer. That's like it moves with Nvidia actually. Well, there you go. There was a clear downtrend established. Boom, huge breakout. Now pulling back a little bit. I will buy the stock on any pullback to 860, 870 levels. And that's it. There is nothing more. And I'll draw this line for you guys as well, so you guys can understand how I do these things. And here it is. There's that triangle that it broke out of. I mean, it just like looks like Coinbase, right? Not too difficult, people. There is Carvana that I'm watching. Look at this. There's another uptrend. I don't know what to say. Now the stock went up massively on earnings. Now what is it doing? It's consolidating. That's what stocks do. They go sideways after they break out. Now, do I need to be in it? No, but on the next breakout, I will definitely be participating on the next leg up or next leg down. And here's my two of my favorites. Remember, I told you about this Alibaba when 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. It had broken out. Okay, went above the 50-day moving average right here, right about 74. Broke the downtrend line that goes back, I don't know, to December of 2023, right? Clear downtrend, breakout at the same time, go above the 50-day, 74. Stock today is at 89. How many of you participated in this? I certainly am. I'm still long the stock, and I will buy on any pullback. The trend is definitely established now. Next one is going to be Sleep Number. Sleep Number, I don't have a position, but there's a cup and a handle that's developing here and 200-day. If the 200-day breaks, if the stock goes above 17-ish, I'm a buyer of the stock, but still watching it. I added, and then Pinduoduo, we talked about this, up another couple of points. There was a bull flag here I drew. There was another bull flag here that it broke out of. Now it's going into resistance. Let me draw the resistance line for you guys, and then if I owned it, I own a small position of it. I will take a profit at this high, which is above it now. Right here, draw resistance. Well, it has to clear this one out, or trying anyway. So right here, if you're going to take profits, you need to take profits. And I added a stock this week to my watch list called Marvell, which is chip company. And I added one more to my list today, which is AMD, which most of you have heard, Advanced Micro Devices. And here it is. Now, the stock is just breaking above the 50-day moving average on really good volume, right? It's been in a clear downtrend, and there is a mini inverted head and shoulders right here. There is the left head, there's the right head. Earnings are out of the way. There is the right shoulder, and the neckline was right here, which was the resistance line. It's broken out now. Now I will be buying AMD, on any pullback. And here's the risk reward we're going to talk about, right? Okay. So if I'm buying AMD right here at 163, 69, 66, whatever, okay? Where's my risk? Well, here's my risk, okay? I'm going to draw that line, actually, my stop out or my buy point, which is going to be right here, the green line. So 163 is my, right around here, 60 to 63 is my buy point. My stop out is at 150. That's 10 points. 10 points on 160 is about 6%. That's my risk. And if it happens, I don't care if this is my mother. I will sell it, period. And that's how you deal with these situations.